What is up, DG Army? Nethervvoid, also known as John, doing a little bit of a beginner's tutorial here for EVE Online. EVE Online is not going to be part of my channel, really. Just if you've been following me on Twitter and Facebook and getting into TS forums, if you're in DGA, we've been kind of talking about this game. A couple of people are trying it out, and a couple of people are getting trials because they've never played this game before. This game is really old. It came out in like 2002 or 3 or something like that, so it's like 10 years old now almost. I think they said 8 years. So it's very complicated and deep, and there's been lots of expansion to it and stuff, and it's very hard to get into. In fact, the hardest part of this game is the steep learning curve. So we're going to go over a few things. This is just off the top of my head what newbies should know, and it's not very in-depth is what I'm going to do. This is really just scratching the surface, but it should help a lot if you're just new to the game. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the UI. It's a very complicated UI. There's a lot of stuff to know in here. There's just tons of junk flying all around in this UI. And it's not a very it's not a very intuitive UI. It's not very user-friendly. So that's usually one of the things people have complained about a lot. Over here, you got your hotbar. This is with you all the time. This has basically hotkeys to all the major parts of the UI and stuff, and parts of your character and things like that. So the first one here is your character screen. I thought it was okay. Yeah, it's a double click. All these are single clicks, I think, except I think the character's a double click. It doesn't really matter. Just try for yourself. Okay, so skills. That's the first thing you should know about this thing. This is basically everything about your character. Skills, when he was born, when this character was created, you know, what corporation they're in. Corporations are like clans or guilds, either is fine. What race you are and your background and stuff when you create your character. What clone you have, how many skill points you have, where you are, all that kind of stuff. Skills. This is a list of all your skills, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit. I don't really want to go into too much depth. Attributes. This is where you selected attributes in the beginning of the game, and this is your total current attributes, because a lot of that will be your implants also affect your attributes. So anyway, just tons of stuff. There's a little bio and stuff. This is old, so I'm going to do this. I've played this game on and off for a long time. History of your corporations and stuff. Just tons of stuff in here. This also tells you when your account will expire, and you can buy more Plex here. You can basically you can convert in-game credits to what they call Plex Pilot's License, and you can buy access to the game with the Pilot's License, because this game costs $15 a month to play. But you can buy, you can either buy credits with real money like you can in World of Tanks, or you can get credits in-game and convert it to a subscription, which you cannot do in World of Tanks. That's kind of cool. So you can do that here. So that was way in depth of the character thing. I didn't really want to show you that much about this, but like we got inventory, chat. There's like chat groups and stuff. People and places. This is a great way to find your agents that you've worked for. And I'll talk about that in more detail. EVE Mail. That's kind of neat. You can send messages so people that are offline will get your messages. Fitting. I'll talk about that later. That's where you fit your ships with different modules. The market, that's where you buy and sell. EVE has a really in-depth market system. It's really fun. In fact, that's a whole part of the game. You don't even have to fight in this game. It's very sandboxy. Sorry I'm like burping and stuff so much. I'm cutting off the mic because I just had lunch, so you just deal with it, I guess. Science and industry, you can do research, because you can create almost anything in the game that you see, you can create. Like this ship, Drake's, it's a battle cruiser. I actually craft these with my other character, who does mainly industry and stuff, and I sell them into the market, and that's how I make a lot of my money. But you can research the blueprints you get, so you can create this ship with a little bit better efficiency. So you do that here. Also, the industries there. That's when you create you basically create items. You do it in industry tab there. Actually, I need to go over that. I don't think I have that on my list, so I'll do that in a little bit. Corporation. This just shows you what corp you're in. There's not a lot to know there, except that's also a way you can find agents to work for. I'll tell you about that more in a little bit. Map. That'll give you the overview for the stars. Basically, EVE is one gigantic server. There's only one server. Everybody plays in the same spot on the same exact map, and the map is just broken down into star systems and stuff. And each star system has planets and space stations, basically. And we'll talk more about that when I go over the overview and the map and stuff like that. Assets, these are all your items and stuff and where they're located. This game is very spreadsheety. A lot of the information comes at you with these basically look like spreadsheets with columns of data and stuff. So it can be very difficult to kind of work out what's going on in here. But again, once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. Here's your wallet. This is where your balance is for how many credits you have. AUR is kind of an in-game... ISK is the in-game currency, like silver if you play World of Tanks. This is like gold if you play World of Tanks. This is the real life money system that you can buy like outfits for your character and stuff like that if you're walking around the station. And it's all right. I don't really care about what my character looks like for now because there's not a lot of walking around the station anyway, as far as I know. Okay, so that's your wallet balance. Journal, this has a list of all the stuff you've ever really done, like what missions you're on. I'm not on any missions right now. What kind of research I'm doing, and this I do have some research I have going, and I'm not gonna really get into in depth with that because it's very complex. And then loyalty points. These are you get from missions, from fighting missions, and you can turn in these loyalty points to your agent to get free items from them. So this is basically a journal of all your stuff. Everything you've really done. Epic Journal, that's kind of like a main storyline in the game. I've never actually done that. Incursions is kind of like an NPC incursion or something where there's like a rift kind of. If you've ever played Rift, basically a rift opens up in a sense and it spawns NPCs and stuff and you can go kill it. So that's pretty much how the journal works. There's a lot more to it, but I don't have time to talk about it. Tutorial. This game does have a pretty good tutorial. When you get into the game, you should go through the tutorial. It kind of tells you about targeting, how to fire your weapons, how to use the fittings stuff, all that stuff. If I didn't cover it, it should cover it in the basic tutorial. It's really good. This game actually launched without one. For many, many years, it did not have a tutorial, and people just had to learn on the fly. So now it does. That's cool. And then agent conversation. I don't know what that is. It's like when you minimize tabs, they actually go here now. They used to come down here. I don't know why they're here, but okay. So that is the hotbar. Station UI. Now I'm in a station right now. As you can see, I'm actually in the hangar. There's also captain's quarters, which just lets you walk around and stuff, and it's basically just, it's supposed to be an extended form of walking around on stations where you can hold meetings and stuff with your corporation and everything, and also as a link, I think, to Dust, and you're supposed to be able to have shops and their stuff, but they've never done anything with it yet, so it's kind of doesn't do anything right now. But okay, so station UI, LP store. This is where you all those loyalty points I was talking about. This is where you turn in loyalty points to get items. So you can see there's special missiles. These are actually Caldari Navy missiles, which are a lot better than the ones you can craft in the game. You can use loyalty points for that. You have to give the guy 5,000 of the regular missile, plus some loyalty points and some in-game credits, and you get 5,000 of these missiles. You can either use them because they have much better damage, or you can sell them back on the market, which is cool. You can sell almost anything in this game on the market. And so that's one way to make money. I do that sometimes with my loyalty points in case I don't use Caldari Navy missiles. People usually use those kind of missiles in PvP and stuff because they do more damage. Insurance. You can insure your ships in case they blow up. And I don't usually use that because if you're doing, the only time you really use this is for PvP because you don't usually, if your ships blow up in PvE, you're doing something wrong. So I generally don't insure my ships. It only lasts a certain amount of time, and then it's gone. You have to do it again. So do it if you're in PvP. You get like, if you get the premium, I think it's like 40% of your ship cost back, which really helps for PvP costs, basically. That's kind of how they helped balance between PvE and PvE, or PvP, so that you could fight in PvP and get some of your money back. Militia Office. They have a faction war system in here. It's not that great, but it's pretty good, where you can just kind of fight the other factions. I don't know a lot about it, but it looks like this UI is very much improved since the last time I've looked at it. I'm in Caldari, so Caldari State is at war with the Gallente and their allies, the Minmatar. There's 4 factions in this game, and those are 3 of the factions. The other faction is the Amar. Each one of them kind of have specialties in certain areas. Caldari's specialty is missiles. Gallente is drones and railguns, pretty much. Minmatar is sniper-type guns and fast ships. And Amar is energy weapons and... I can't remember what the other thing is. But that's basically what it is. And basically, Gallente and Minmatar buddies, and then Caldari and Amar buddies, pretty much how it works. So, looks like we're getting juiced right here. The Gallente are really taking over. Now, this is all PvP, but it's basically kind of more casual, friendly way of PvPing and not being part of a corporation and stuff. The faction is like an NPC corporation in a sense, and you join it and fight with other guys in factions is really how it works. And they're, they have team speaks for that and all that. I'm sure that they're actually, you can join a corporation into factions and stuff, and that, so you still get your corporation stuff, and you guys can talk and do team speak and all that, but you don't have to have a station and all this other stuff. You can get some little bit of kind of NPC PvP. It's not really full PvP in a sense. I mean, full PvP, you blow up each other's ships, but it's not like you have to doesn't take all the time and all that for like setting up a station, manning the station, you know, who's going to get the fuel, who's going to do the mining, all that stuff. It doesn't have any of that stuff really. Now the bounty office, you can actually put bounties on people that kill you. It doesn't really work because then their friends just kill them and get the bounty for it, so it's kind of broken. They're going to fix it, I guess, pretty soon. But that's how that's the bounty system in a nutshell. Again, R&D, science and industry, I mean, sorry. This is where you have your jobs. This is where it would list if you're building anything. I'm not building or researching anything. Here are the blueprints I have. And I don't have any because this isn't my guy that builds stuff, really. Manufacturing, this is where you would actually start a manufacturing job. This is like the crafting thing. You can insert I'd say, yeah, I want to use this, so I'd install job, and I'd put my blueprint in and all the materials, and it would start building stuff for me. I think that's planetary PI. I can't remember what that acronym stands for. Planetary interaction, I think, or something like that, where you mine on planets. I've never really done that. It's kind of cool. It doesn't make a lot of money though. Fitting. This is where you fit your ship with the modules and stuff. We're going to talk about this a little bit, but that's the fitting button, so you can change your ship around. Basically, I can pull parts off my ship. Like, I can pull this tractor beam off and put something else there. I can pull, these are rigs. These are like enhancements to your ship. This is kind of like equipment in World of Tanks. You can't take it off. If you do, it destroys it. So it's kind of a consumable. You cannot pay anything to take these off. You just have to buy new ones out of the market. Once you try to take these off, they're destroyed. You can pull any of these modules off, they will not be destroyed, but rigs do get destroyed. But they're very powerful, and they're very costly. So yeah, this is like shielding and stuff. You can take these off, you can put other things on. You can rig your ship, not rig your ship, you can fit your ship however you want and just mess around with it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, on how to do that and stuff, what's a good way to do it. This is the market interface for selling and buying. Really, let's see, I can just browse right here. Again, very spreadsheety. Like if I want to buy a blueprint, I need some more ammo, let's say missiles, I don't know. I need more cruise missiles. Let's go with tier 2. Now, everything in this game has tiers. There's up to 3 now. Tier 1 is all the standard stuff. Tier 2 is like a little more advanced, and you have to have more advanced skills to use these. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And this is a tier 2 missile. Here's what it costs. Here's where it's located. I can right-click and buy it. Or I can sell stuff into the market if I have extra ones. You need skills for that, but you basically click the item, right-click it, and say sell this item, and I can sell it into the market. So that's a quick overview of the market. Reprocessing plant. This is where you can take items and melt them down into materials, like or even these basically alloys that I picked up off some drones and stuff. You can melt this stuff down. Almost all items in the game can be melted down into raw materials. You can either sell those materials on the market, or you can recraft them into other items and stuff. That's kind of neat. Repair shop. This is like when your ship gets damaged, you can repair it, or you can use modules to repair it. Drones, you're probably going to have to repair them in here. There's no way to repair drones other than just to repair them in the repair shop, so that's where you do that. Clone. We didn't talk about skills yet, but this is where you're going to upgrade your clone and keep track of your clone. And wherever you install your clone is where you will respawn if you die. And we'll talk about that a little bit too. I do not have my clone set here. I think it's set to, yeah, it's set here Osmoden, which is not this current. See, this is my current system, is Ziwa or whatever. So that's where I have mine installed. And we'll talk about clones in a little bit when we talk about dying and stuff. This is taking a long time to talk about this UI. See, this is going to take forever. These are just the cash shops. You don't really need that to know about that. Okay, so that's the station UI. There's a couple other really important things to know about the UI. Let's talk about assets. Actually, obviously, you have a lot of assets. Your assets start to get spread around all over the place. When you drop an item into a station hangar, or the item hangar in the station, it stays there. It does not go with you. There is no universal bank in this game. Kind of like that. Everything's localized. If you want the item, you have to fly back there and get it. So here's, I have sorted this by jumps. Jumps is how many, basically you have to jump between systems. So number of jumps tells me how many systems I'd have to jump to get this item. Obviously this is 0 jumps because I'm in this system. I'm actually in the station now. This is 1 jump. I could jump 1 system over and go grab this junk. What do I have in here? 1 item. It's just Scourge missiles. I think I put this in as a placeholder. Because from here, I can right-click and say Set Destination and go there. It'll navigate. Like, let's say I wanted to go to Kakakilla, and I don't know, I think I have agents here is why I set this up. Let's say I wanted to get, okay, I set the destination. That's how many jumps it's going to take to get there. 5 jumps. So now it's all mapped out, and we'll talk about travel in a minute. But that's this is kind of the cool things you can do with assets here. So I really navigate by items. Here's my main. This is my main base, basically. This is where I've set basically my main station, and you can pick any station as your quote-unquote headquarters. It doesn't really matter where you pick. I have some agents here that I work for a lot, and I have all my production stuff here and everything. As you can see, I've got some ores in here that I've mined. I've just got tons of stuff, skill books even, just tons of junk in here. So that's assets pretty much. You can do it by region. I don't know why you would do this. I just use all items. This will tell you what you've got in this station. Or you can do a search, like, I don't know, missile. If you want to see if... this is really good for skill books. So let's say you wanted the mining skill books. Hey, I think I have that skill book. Let's see. Oh, I do, right there. Here's all the items with mining in the text. Oh, good, I already bought that skill book. I don't want to buy it again. To train up a new skill, you have to buy the skill book to learn it. So, with in-game credits. So, you definitely don't want to buy a skill book twice. That's pretty pointless. Okay, so that's pretty much the Assets tab. It's very valuable with keeping track of what you have. And also searching to make sure you don't buy something twice, especially if it's expensive. Okay, so from this point up, these are all NPC-held systems in high security space. There are 3 security spaces. Actually, we'll talk about that on the mini-map. But there are 3 security spaces to know about. High security is pretty safe against PvP. I can pretty much fly around here and not get shot at by other players. From here below, the names look really weird on the systems. Actually, this might not be a low-sec system, but a lot of these weird name systems are 0 space, 0 security. That's all player-owned and run. If I just fly in there and I'm not allied with anybody, they'll blow you away on sight. So this is when I used to play in these corporations way out in the middle of nowhere, just fighting over stuff. So I got 76 items basically in an area I can never get to right now unless I join that corporation or make a suicide run in there and try to grab stuff, which you can do from time to time. Luckily, I don't have a lot of crap in there. I probably pulled all the stuff I really wanted to out. This is when I just kind of stopped playing for a while and got stuff locked behind in 0 space, in enemy territory, basically is how people say it. So, a lot of items right there, actually. Okay, so that's the Assets tab. Pretty in-depth, actually. Wallet, that's where you figure out how much money you got, right? This is all my credits. Okay, I'm not going to go over shares. You can actually own parts of corporations, and if they do dividends, because they're a corporation that's a manufacturing corporation, and they're looking for investments, they'll sell shares. You can buy those shares. They usually sell the shares on the forums, but you I think it's market discussions or something like that. But anyway, they do dividends and stuff, and this is how you can see how many shares of a certain corporation you have. Here's how you can see all your orders, buy and sell orders. You can see it right from the wallet. But this is really what I use it for, the transactions. This tells you like what you've bought and sold in the past few days. Also, it'll show you like if you've killed NPC pirates and you get a bounty from them. You get a bounty from the NPC police, basically saying, hey, thanks for killing that guy. Here's some cash. It'll all show up here. If you complete missions, all your monetary transactions show up here. That's that's the best thing about the wallet. The journal is another way. Transactions is when you buy stuff. Journal is just everything, I think. Also, you can track your gold purchases, apparently. Whatever. Cool. Now, wallet settings, I don't know. Blink when it changes is kind of nice. You can just change all this stuff. It's fine. That's the wallet. Not a lot to know about. Chat. So the chat, any of these windows, you can double-click the header right here, and it'll reduce down. So let's get that back up. I'm going to bring chat back up. DGA Pub is kind of the public chat room I've got started to just for us, anybody who wants to play until we make a DGA corporation can come in here and chat. And the way you get into that is you come over here to chat. Okay, that's chat channels. You bring up that UI. You can join or create chat channels. And once you join one, every time you log in, it'll auto-rejoin that chat channel. All you have to do to close it is say close, and it'll never join it again until you type it in here again. Let's just put in, I don't know, goons. There might be. No, I don't want to join one, but you can also search for some. Here's like all CEOs or something like that. These are public chat rooms. Dust514 public chat room. So that's chat rooms, pretty much. How to join and create. A lot of people have questions about that. The chat is pretty much you just type in here and hit enter. You can do timestamps. If you right-click the chat, you get sorry, click the settings here. You can do like timestamps, highlight my messages, show text only. Usually it comes up like that, and there's really limited amount of chat in there, so I like to go in and just say text only, because I can get more on the chat there. When you have a bunch of people in these chat rooms, you really need something like this. And then when I'm in a fight, I just double click it down like that. Okay, so that's the chat. Also, let's go over this UI in here for the inventory, which you can click. People and places is another good thing to look at. This is where all agents you've ever worked for are in here. So if you forget which agent you work for, they're right here. If you right-click them, you can start a conversation, which I wouldn't do. You basically want to set a destination. That's the whole point of this. Set destination. Now I can go there, okay? Like, say I want to go work for this guy again. Well, he's pretty far away. That's usually what I use people and places for. This is also where you can put your buddies in here. Like, these are some of my old buddies. And then you can, like, send them email, I think, from here. Let's see. Start conversation. That actually opens a chat tab with them. Send a message. That's an email. Form a fleet with them. That's a great way to form a fleet. Add them as your buddy, and then form a fleet with them from the People and Places menu here. So you can see there's tons of menus, which is great. They have a lot of ways to organize the information that you need. This is where you can also set bookmarks to places. I've done that. These are a lot of old bookmarks. When I was living in 0-0, I made these really awesome bookmarks in here. And you can do that just by flying around. They'll end up in here. So you can do a really easy way to get back. Again, they have search. Let's see, any other cool stuff that you really need to see before we get out of UI? Not really. We'll get into the map later. That's very important. The map is really, really important. That's pretty much it. Okay, let's go on to skills. Skills is one of the biggest parts of this game. Okay, skills are basically say what your character can do, what they can fly, what they can do in the game. Okay, they're all broken down by groups. Okay. Corporate management. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of skills. You almost can't get every skill, no matter how long you play, almost. And so, in that sense, there's almost a limitless amount of stuff to do in this game, in a sense. Basically, the way skill works. So let's look at something simple like electronics and engineering. Now, you're going to see a lot of skills in here that I have. What you really want to do is set up your settings for your skill tab here. Because I think by default it shows all skills or something like that, and you don't really want that. Or only skills that I can currently train. But all skills will allow you to see even the skills you don't have. Like, I don't have this. You do not meet the requirements to even train this, okay? But you know it's out there. That's kind of nice. These ones that have this kind of shimmery look are the ones I've completed all the way up to level 5. There are 5 levels to skills. The first level means you can barely do it. And every level of this, you get a little bit of a bonus off the skill. So let's look at something like engineering, which is something you're going to need right off the bat. So let's go back to only show my current skills. Highlight partially trained skills is good. Like if you're right in the middle of training something and switched, that's a really good thing to have on. I like that one. So it lets me know what stuff I kind of stopped right in the middle of. The first thing you're going to start out here is engineering. Okay, this is going to be the first skill you start out with. When you create your character, you should already have some engineering. But let's look at the details of a skill, because the skills have a lot of information in them as well. Description. Okay, here's where you'll find the bonus to the skill. Every level you train in this skill, you get 1 more times of this bonus. So for engineering, you get a 5% bonus to ship power grid output per skill level. So every time I level this, now I'm at 25% bonus. So say a ship has a 100 megawatt power grid, which means I can only load modules onto it up to 100 megawatts worth of power drain they need to run. But if I have engineering level 5, it's a 25% bonus, which means I push that ship up to 125 megawatts for its power grid. This is really great for fitting your ships properly. It's one of the first skills you need to max out almost immediately, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So here's the attributes. Now, the way skills train, the speed at which they train, and they will train offline. They train the same speed regardless of whether you're online, doesn't matter what you're doing, killing NPCs, mining. If you're trying to train a mining skill and you're mining, it's not going to go up any faster. Skills train at the same speed whether you're online or offline, so that makes it really good for casual players. You can train your skills while you're not even playing, which is nice. So the attribute to the skill is very important because the skill speed can change based on your attributes, okay? That's, like strength, dexterity, whatever. These are the 5 attributes in the game: intelligence, perception, charisma, willpower, and memory. So engineering is primary attribute is intelligence. So if I can get this up, if I can make that go up, it helps out a lot. Now it's a diminishing returns. So when you first create your character, you might have 10 intelligence. If you bump it to 13, it's gonna be a huge gain. If I bump this from 25 to 28, it's gonna be a very small gain. It won't be much at all. The secondary attribute is memory. Pushing this up will help a little bit, but intelligence is 2 or 3 times as powerful as far as training engineering skills faster. And this is the total skill points it takes to max this thing out. Training multiplier. All the newbie skills have a 1x training multiplier. Basically, the higher in tier these skills get, the longer they take to train. Okay, so this is a very basic skill. It's a 1x skill. Let's look at some other tiers, and they're basically that in a sense breaks them down into tier. So this is the tier 10 skill, capital energy emission systems. Okay, that's basically a heal. That's so I can run some heal modules on a capital ship, a carrier, very, very large endgame ship that costs a lot of money. So that's why it's a 10x skill. So if I want to train this I'm at level 4 now. If I want to train this to level 5, it takes 41 days to train this. You can probably max out engineering in like 1 day, maybe 2 days. Actually, a level 1 skill, the 5th level of it takes 4 days, I think. But this one's 41 days. You can see it's 10 times the amount of time. Again, primary intelligence, secondary memory, all the engineering skills have the same kind of set of criteria for these attributes. It's a level 4. Really, I call it a tier 10 skill, but whatever. That's a level 4 skill. And capacitor need bonus for healing modules. Let's see. Operation of capital size energy transfer rate. Oh, okay. This is to transfer my capacitor energy, which is kind of like RAM in a sense. It's online energy I can consume right then. It's not like the power grid. It's kind of different. I'll show you that when we talk about ships. So 5% reduced capacitor need of capital energy emission systems per skill level. So I've got a 20% reduced. So like say it cost me 100 energy to activate this module that's going to transfer some energy to somebody else. Now it costs me 20% less, so it only costs me 80, and I can transfer like 200 energy to the other guy. So he gets a lot more out of my 80 energy. So that's kind of how you read a skill. So some of them have prerequisites. A lot of the higher tier skills do. I have to have engineering level 5, and I also have to have energy emission systems level 5, engineering 3, and science 2 to even train this skill to level 1. Okay, so you can see when you're looking at a skill you want what it's going to take to get to it. There's a way easier way to do this though, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, required for these modules here. So it also tells you what modules you want to put on your ship that it's required for. If you right-click this module, it'll also tell you the skills you need to use it. So that's how you can go into the market and say, I want to buy a gun in the market. You can right-click the item, and it'll tell you what skills you need to use the item, and if you already have those or not. So pretty cool. So that's pretty much skills. That's how you use skills here. The way you train up for new ships is in Spaceship Command, and the simplest form of this group is Spaceship Command, which I think is down here. Yeah, here it is. Obviously, I've maxed it out, but this is going to help you fly like cruisers, battleships, and then you're going to need the Advanced Spaceship Command for stuff like carriers and the really endgame type stuff. And then there's also skills just for that ship. So Spaceship Command will allow you to train for a ship skill, but then you also have to get that ship skill. So, like Interceptors, that's kind of a tier 2 ship. So, like if I wanted to fly a Crow or Raptor or something like that, I would need Spaceship Command level 3, but also these other skills I would need. So, it's not that bad. Spaceship Command level 3 is not a big deal. Let's see, what does it take for capital ships? That's to fly the really, really big ships. Spaceship Command level 5 and Advanced Spaceship Command level 5. 2 pretty big skills. So, that's pretty much what Spaceship Command is. Let's look at... electronics is another big one, because the main skill being electronics, obviously. This is upgrades your CPU on your ship. That's kind of helps you load, like, guns and weapons and stuff, and also some other things, some other kind of utility modules and stuff. So you want to get that up right away, too. You want to get electronics and engineering up, maxed out almost right away, so you can load modules onto your ships. Drones is something we'll talk about in combat, but here's all the skills for it. Corporate management is to create corporations. Gunnery, this is like all the gun weapons and stuff. And then we got industry, this is for building stuff. Leadership is for when you're doing fleets. Mechanics is another good one. You want to get your mechanics up pretty fast. It actually upgrades the armor, the hit points of your ship. So you definitely want to get that. I think it's hull hit points. Pretty positive on that. Let's see. 5% bonus to structure hit points, okay? So we'll tell you about that in a minute. Hull upgrades, I think... Oop, no, I don't want that. You can also, like, buy it out of the market. Find... Oh, I'm sorry. View market details. It'll take you right to the market, and you can buy it. Alright. I think this is armor. Grants a 5% bonus to armor hit points. We'll talk about that in a minute, too. So, really good stuff. I like... engineering is shielding skills, I think. Missile launchers, obviously, operation of missiles. Navigation is for how fast your ship moves, whether you can use afterburners, stuff like that. Science, this is mainly used for industry and stuff, or research. Research is very heavy in science. Social is good for, like, missions and stuff, and talking to agents, NPCs. And that's pretty much it. Trade is, like, if you want to do a lot of trading, and you can buy, sell low, buy low, sell high kind of stuff. A lot of people do that to make money. So that's skills. Also, I wanted to talk about Evemon. That's a third-party application that helps you basically look at the skills of your guy and manage your skills better. So here's nethervvoid. Here's all his skills, okay? And the way you get all this information is you have to go to API. Let's see. No, that's not it. Add API key. Your account has an API key, and actually you can manage API keys. And I probably don't want to show you that, so I'll probably have to black box that out. So you can add your API key. It actually shows you, if you click here, this link, you can create a custom API. It'll give you a code. You put the ID and the verification code in here, okay? And then you click next. It'll connect to your account. And there's no... This application's been around for years and years, so nobody's going to steal your information, okay? It's totally safe. And then that will bring in all your skills and stuff. Now, what's cool about this is you can browse skills. This is what I'm training right now. It's going to take a long time to train. They've kind of changed this around a lot. That's my history. If I want to look at plans, I can make a skill plan. Let's do a new skill plan. I don't know, test. Okay? So here's a new UI in here. What I can do is plan out what I want to train. Okay, it tells me what level I have, whether I can train those right now. But let's say I want to train for a certain ship. Okay, this is the coolest part about this app. I want to train for, I don't know, a battleship. Let's do a battleship, just a standard battleship, and I want to do a Raven because that's a really good mission running ship for money. So I can right click that. Actually, I can go here and it tells me here's. Let's not talk about certifications. You can look at that later. And it tells me the required skills to fly this ship. Okay? This is just to fly it. This is not to fly it. There's two things. Flying a ship and flying a ship well. Okay? There's two different things. This will get me into the ship, but it does not mean I will do a good job in this ship. It will not be basically... It's kind of like a stock tank versus a fully upgraded tank. This will give me the stock Caldari battleship Raven, but it won't. I won't be able to fire the missiles or anything like that. This is just to get in the ship, so I can board the ship. Now, what you can do is add all to plan. Now, I don't have anything remaining, so I don't have to add anything. But let's go for something else. Let's say I wanted to train some kind of capital ship or something. Let's look at that. Capital ships, a dreadnought, a Caldari dread, a Phoenix. I cannot fly one of these yet. See, I don't have dreadnought. So I think I have everything I need. I just haven't bought the dreadnought skill. You buy the skills from the market. The first skills are obviously really cheap, but the really advanced skills start to cost a lot of money. Like dreadnought, I think costs like 50 million. I think to buy. I'm not positive on that, but I can add it to my plan. Caldari dreadnought 1. Let's say I want to train that up pretty far. Train it to level 4. I mean, remember, I want to fly the ship well, not just barely fly it. All right, so I added that to my plan. Here it is. Okay. Why isn't it up to 4? Oh, no, priority 4. I thought I had trained it to 4. That's okay. We'll just add more, let's see. Change planned level to 4. Okay. So it also shows you how long it's going to take. So you can plan out a list of all the skills you want and put them in certain order. Now, if I change the priority, like let's change, okay, this is a priority 4 skill. Let's go back to the skill browser now. Now I'm going to look at missile operation or something. Let's say I want to train bomb deployment to 4, I guess. Train it to level 4. Now it's in my plan, okay? Here it is. But it's priority 3. You can sort by priority. So group by priorities ascending. So you can like set up groups for like, say this is all my Dreadnought skills or my level or my priority 4. I can add stuff in here like Dreadnought missiles, Dreadnought defense systems and all that, and set it priority 4, it'll all sort together. Okay, maybe this is my bombing, I don't know, ship skill group. So it's pretty nice. It really helps with planning out your skills. Without this, it is really difficult to figure out all the skills and figure out what you want to train next. So really cool little app. Check it out. That's not really that much in depth of it. I just wanted to show it to you real fast. Okay, clones. It's very important. I have 44 million skill points. If I die and do not have a clone, I will lose all my skill points. I will have basically a newbie character again. And it does happen, and it has happened, and the developers do not care that that happens. You got to make sure you upgrade your clone. This clone, I can keep enough skill points in this clone up to 54 million. Once I pass 54 million, those skill points are not saved. So basically what you want to do is, like, say I was at 55 million skill points, I just trained something for a while, I don't know. I can upgrade my clone and say, okay, let's get a new clone. Let's get this clone. It costs 13 million every time you use this clone. Every time you die, you get potted. There's two different things. We'll talk about that later. Every time you have to use your clone, you'd have to pay 13 million to get another one. The current one I'm using, I can't remember what it is, like 5 million or something like that. Make sure you keep your clone upgraded. The jump clone is something different. You have to. That's more advanced. I'm not covering that. Okay. So again, make sure you upgrade your clone. You can also move your clone. You can change it to a different station. Like a lot of times, it's better, I guess, if you're probably in the station that you want to change it to, because it should show up on this list. Stations without medical facilities, so that's a good place to do. And it just switches right over. It doesn't cost any money or anything. Because when you activate that clone because you died or something, you pop up in the station where you have your clone. Usually you want that to be quote-unquote your headquarters. Okay, attributes effect on skill gain, I already talked about that. Implants, I'll go over that very quickly. You can boost your stats a lot by getting these implants and you buy them off the market. They can be very expensive. If you have to activate a clone because you got potted, and we'll talk about that more in the combat section, all your implants are destroyed. So you generally don't want to have any expensive implants when you're PvPing, okay? If you're just doing a lot of mission running and stuff, PvE, mining, junk like that, you can have kind of expensive implants and it's fine. I like these expensive implants for attributes because it helps me train faster. But when I go for PvP, I usually switch my clone out with a different clone, and you can do it with jump clones. Again, I'm not covering that. But you can switch your clone out, and your jump clone will have all your your implants in it, and you can start out with a kind of a fresh clone with no implants. Again, you'll have to figure out how that works. Let's see. Most important newbie skills, I talked about those. Travel. Okay, so let's do the travel overview. Let's undock from the station. We've just been in the station the whole time. Hit undock to actually leave the station. Okay, so now we're going out into space. And I'll show you how to move around a little bit. You cannot use WASD, which is my biggest thing I do not like about this game. There's no WASD, and everything's lock-on and stuff. I really don't like that. So, you can stop your... Here's how fast your ship is moving. You can stop your ship by pushing negative here. Because a lot of times, the ship's mass will keep you from warping. The larger your ship, the longer it takes to align out to a warp, and I'll talk about that in a second. So that's one way to stop your ship right out of the gate here, if you have a big ship, and then you'll warp much faster, because your ship can turn a lot faster when you're not moving. While that doesn't make sense in space, it works in EVE just because it makes the game better. So, to double-click, like, let's say I want to go this way for some reason, I don't know why, but if you're in a mission, you can double-click anywhere in space, your ship will approach that, basically, virtual point. So you can see my ship's moving to it. This is impulse power, kind of. And then there's warp speed, like if you wanted to get to an object quickly, because it's very... On impulse power, you'll never get over to these other stations and stuff. It just never will happen. It's too far away. So you need warp. So I have two... In my overview here, I have two tabs. This kind of goes along with travel here. I have a travel tab, which just lists stations and warp gates. This is to other stars. Stargates, okay? And that's so it doesn't clutter up. You can get... Like, there's tons of stuff that can show up here. This is kind of like your mini-map in a sense. Other players' ships can show up here. Pirates, asteroids, asteroid fields, tons of other stuff can show up here. So I want my travel thing to just be stations and stargates. Okay? So this is how you warp. Let's say we want to go to canola system, right-click this and say, well, warp to will put you right on the Stargate. If you hit jump, it'll warp to the Stargate and then go through it to the other system. We don't want to jump through it. Let's just go to it now. You can also jump to within 70, like if you have PvP or something, you don't want to go right on the gate, but you want to be 70 kilometers from it, you can do that. We're going to go to 0. Immediately, my ship will go into warp, and it'll go right toward that item, or that Stargate. So if I select it, it should show up. It's in this group right here. Yeah, there it is, see? So I'm going to warp across the solar system right now, and you'll see the star is going to kind of fade out here. Now I'm up to really fast speeds here. Okay, there's AUs now, astronomical units. I'm going really fast. 3 astronomical units per second. So I'm going to warp tunnel, or a warp bubble, this is called. When you're in this, you can pass through objects. Nothing can actually target you or anything. Okay, now I'm at the station, or I'm sorry, Stargate. And these are NPCs, NPC police, basically. I'm in high security space, which means nobody can really attack me, or these police guys will, basically guards, will jack them up. Alright, so let's jump through. So I push jump. I clicked the Stargate and I hit jump. Now it actually shoots me over to the other system. That's the other system right there. Now I'm in the next system over. You can see there's the Stargate it just came out of. I can reapproach it. I come out cloaked so nobody can see me. That lasts for a minute. Okay, or 30 seconds. I'm not positive. It's been a while since I played this. Now I'm going to approach that gate because I want to fly through it again. I can't jump until I'm within, I think it's 1,500 meters. Might be 2,500. We're going to see. Can't remember. But like I want to go back through the gate. See, this way you can't jump into a system and jump right back out to see who's in it. Like, if you're PvPing, you're going to have to get back to that gate. So, good luck. Okay? There's a lot of ships here. Gate camping. You can try to warp over to another gate. That's probably a better option. But just burning back to the gate, usually not the best idea. Unless you have... Well, I have afterburners. That'll speed up my ship. Let's put those on. That gives me, like, see? Max velocity without afterburners, 175. With afterburners, 400. You can see my speed's picking up quite a bit. Now, the afterburner consumes some of my capacitor. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you that. Every time it cycles, it eats some of this capacitor, which naturally regenerates over time anyway. As you can see, my skills can easily keep up with this one afterburner running. So, I'm within whatever it is. You'll have to look up here. The jump symbol will become... It's inactive until you're close enough to jump. I'm going to jump back through that system. Okay. So we've talked about, let's talk about overview now, how I made these 2 tabs. You will start out with 1 tab with everything under the sun in it. Let's say you wanted to make a new tab that just had pirates or something. So you're going to right-click this thing. You can go into Open Overview Settings. I'm really sure why, I'm not sure why it's not the first thing, but it's not. Open the Overview Settings. You can make a new tab here. And basically, this is a tab name, okay? And this is the overview settings save that you have saved that it will use. So like travel, again, all I have is stations and Stargates. PvE, I have like pirates and stuff on there, and so I just usually name them the same thing, but I can do it to a different one here with this drop down. So the way I change it is you go to filters. This filters in or out anything you want to see. These are different types of ore asteroids. Let's say I wanted that. Okay, that's a new preset, is not saved now. I just deviated away from the travel setting I was on. Okay, so let's say I wanted to save it now under, I don't know, mining or something. I would go here and say, where is it? Save as mining. Okay, cool. Now I can go to the overview tabs, make a mining tab. Now, I'd say this one, I didn't really set it up, but I only want to show ores, asteroid fields, maybe some gates so I can get away, stuff like that. And I do mining. That's the new one I just set up, right? Apply. There, now I have a mining tab. Cool. It only shows what I want. Now there's obviously none of that ore. That's actually a really good ore. It'll never show up here. I just want to kind of show you that. I don't know how you delete these. I don't think you can, actually. I've never tried to delete them. You can actually export them too, like if you want to save them off because you're reformatting your system. Oh, I can delete it. Sweet. Delete mining. I don't need it. Also, I think you can do this to delete the tab. So, none. This should be travel. Apply. See? So, that's how you change your overview. Kind of nice, especially when you're doing missions and stuff. You don't want stuff clogging up your mission thing. You need to lock onto somebody really fast and everything, make a split decision. You want to be able to see everything. especially in PvP, you want to immediately be able to see if there's enemies in here. It's highly customizable. You can make enemies show up with a big red bar on them, so they're obviously very noticeable. Stuff like that. You can sort by distance, name, type. It's very obvious once you know what you're doing. So that is the overview. This is a very, very important part of the game. Now let's talk about map. That's the other way to travel, okay? Here's the map. This is very complicated. Right when you look at this, you're like, WTF, John? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. This is the entire server. Every one of those dots is a system. That's how large this game is, okay? It's very, very large. Remember I made that route to get to an agent? It's showing me the route here. Okay, all those jumps and where I'll end up. Now, right now, the map is color-coded on the systems by security. All the basically blue all the way down to light orange are high security, which means if a player shoots you, the cops will come and blow them away. Low security is, and so that's security from 1.0, and you can see the security right here. I'm in a 0.7. The highest security system is 1.0. The lowest part of high sec is 0.5. If you go below 0.5, people can shoot you and get away with it, okay? So if you do not want a PvP, stay in 0.5 or above systems. Now let's say you wanted to go to this system. I don't know why you wanted to. Maybe your buddy's here. This is the system I want to go to. I right-click it, set destination. It's that easy. Now, in order to do that, see, I have to pass through all these areas. Now, there's a couple of settings you need to know about. And I have the map flattened. You can actually turn it into... I think it's easiest to see this way because everything's always in the same layout. It's always in the same location. But you can unflatten it, and you can kind of 3D it around like this. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but you can. To me, flattened map is the easiest kind to use because the orientation is always the same. So, let's talk about some settings here. Where is the setting thing? I can't remember. Star map. You can see there's tons of different stuff on here. So, Autopilot Settings. So, when you right-click something to create it'll create the shortest route for you. If you click this, it's going to possibly send you through some low-sec systems. So you need to be really careful. Prefer safer. If you don't want PvP, to stay in 0.5 to 1.0, and it will never send you through a PvP area. Or maybe you're wanted by the police or something. It will try to send you into the lower sec systems first. I don't know. Let's say we went out here to PvP area. See how the well, I'm in 0.2. Interesting. I thought it was only 0.0. Apparently it goes below that now. Anyway, it's showing me how to get there. If I was in 0.0, it would not try to send me up into Empire. It would just try to send me way around in this area where there are no cops, basically. So that's really neat to... you can also avoid specific systems, like if you know there's gate camps there or something. Lots of PvP or something. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. But basically, you just prefer safer. You don't need any more than that. Alright. I don't know what waypoints do. Don't really use them. So right now, it's saying avoid Jita. Jita is like a really clogged up system. I don't really want to avoid it. I might want to go there. So you can also search for a system. Like your friend says, I live in Jita. So where's that? I don't know. Cool. Shows up, right-click, set destination. There. Now you have a path to get there. So that's pretty much how you use the star map. There's a lot of other awesome stuff to show in here, but I don't really have the time. I'm way into this already, so sorry. Okay, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. So let's get out of the map now. Let's go back to the regular space here. That's pretty much how you do traveling. Okay, let's talk about ships, and let's go back to the station to do that. Let's go back. Let's use my assets to get back to where I was. Oh, I'm already there, right? Let's dock here. Let's dock in that station. This is basically my base. This is the station I'm using as a base for this system because I'm working on. I'm working with an agent, an NPC here, to get NPC missions, blow up NPC pirates to get bounties. This is a good way to make money in this game. You don't really make money off of PvP. You can because you can loot people's modules off their ships when they blow up, but generally you don't make a lot of money doing that. You can make a lot. Most people try to make their money with some kind of PvE thing because you can make money faster and it's less risk. So here's the station. I warp to it. It'll automatically dock me. Or you can click the station, hit dock. But I already said dock, so it'll automatically do it. Now, stations are a lot like Stargates. You have to be within a certain range to dock with that station. Okay, so I'm docking. Basically, the system is... The Eve server is moving me into the station. Okay, I'm in the station again. Okay, weapon types. So let's go into fittings. Let's talk about fittings first. Hit the fittings button. Each of these have hotkeys too. Where the hell is the fittings button? Oh, it's right there. So Alt-F gets you into fittings. Let's just try that. Alt-F. Nice. So the way the fittings on a ship works... Is that what I was talking about first? Oh, weapon types. We'll talk about that in a sec. First, we're going to talk about fittings. So there's there's actually 4 different kind of fittings in a sense. There's high slot fittings. This is basically weapons and active modules, basically. This is like missiles, guns, tractor beams, anything you're using, energy transfer stuff, anything that interacts with other ships and everything. There's mid slots. This is usually your like shielding, extra engine stuff. There's a couple other things too. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but that's kind of what goes in here. The low slots are mainly your engineering slots. Like this one's a special shield buff. This is a ballistic control system to make me hit harder, like a DPS module. If you have armor repairers, they're being here. Stuff like that goes in the low slot. You can see if something is a low slot by it tells you, I think. How do you know that? There's a way to do this, and sometimes I play this game so long I kind of forget. Right here. So if you look at the icon for this fitting, it's got 2 notches. That means it goes in the mid slot. That's a mid slot. I don't have any low. It's low is 1 and high is 3. I don't have any weapon stuff in here. You can just take one off, I guess. Let's take this one off. So I just took the missiles out of that first. Now let's take the actual missile launcher module off. You can see it has 3. Okay. So I drag and drop it on there. Now it's loaded. Now I put some missiles in it. And actually you can just right click it. Oh, no you can't. I already know those missiles go in there, so you can drag and drop. These missiles and guns and all that have an inventory of their own. Once that inventory runs out, like this is basically a magazine. Once it runs out, you have to reload it, and I'll show you that too. Now this is the 4th basically fitting slot. They're called rigs. I already talked about them. You buy these out of the market and put it on your ship, and it's permanent. Once you take it off, it damages it, and it's basically an upgrade to your ship, and it's permanent. Okay, you can take them off, but they get destroyed in the process. So these specific ones help my shield tank. Helps my shield regenerate so that my tank can stay alive. I can take more damage with them. Okay, so that's weapon types, and that's actually slots, and we'll show you grouping, and I'll show you grouping in a little bit. Cargo hold. So, let's show you a little bit more about fitting. When you fit stuff onto your ship, let's see, capacitor. This is a little, okay, so here's my CPU. Here's the total I can basically operate. This is what's left. Also, that's this blue bar right here. So as you take items on and off, you'll see the CPU goes up and down. Now, these low-end slots usually don't consume a lot of CPU. A lot of these mids don't either. These utility things usually don't consume a lot of CPU. Usually the CPU is your weapons. CPU pulls off a lot. Now, that pulled off too because they're grouped, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Watch my CPU. Yeah, that's fine. It drops down quite a bit, actually. So, usually the weapons are going to be your limiting thing with CPU. Let's put those missiles back in there. Alright. Usually, this is the power grid. You can also see it here. I have a 1000 power grid, and I only have 76 left over. Usually, and actually these are high CPU modules, but usually your low slots have the biggest power grid. For this ship, these shield extenders are the largest power consumers. You can see it's going down quite a bit. Basically, that limits your ship to what modules, how many modules and stuff you can put on the ship, or what types. Rigs don't consume CPU or power grid. So that's pretty much how that works. You can see this ship has 8. The maximum high slot, and the maximum of any of these slots is 8. Okay, rigs is 3. So you can see this has 8 slots, pretty nice for high. For mid, this has only 6 of 8. That's very good. For low, it has 4 of 8. That's good, but not really awesome. Okay. So like a battleship might have 2 more or 1 more in this position. Rigs, all ships have 3. Some of them only have 2. So, but nobody has more than 3. So that's kind of how modules work and power grid and CPU. And if you can see, if you right-click something, let's take the missiles out of this again. You can look at the info on this. It'll tell you how much CPU and power grid it takes. So 32 CPU, 90 megawatts off the power grid. Okay. Cool. So that's kind of how that works. We could talk about ship classes, I guess, because we are talking about ships, and I haven't even talked about that. First, let's just go through my list. Cargo hold. Man, this is a long. This is a really, really long video. Sorry about that. Cargo hold. So basically, this is my active ship. It'll always sort to the top here. Here's my cargo hold. I just clicked it. Here's the ship hangar. All the ships I have in this station. This is the only other ship I have here. And then item hangar. This is all items that are not in a ship's cargo hold. This is pretty much as much crap as you want. There is no limit to the amount of items you can put in the station. But there's obviously a cargo hold limit of your ship. This one has 345 meters cubed. And I'm filling it with missiles to reload while I'm in, basically out fighting NPCs and stuff. So let's talk about ships. Let's go to the market for that. Like, say, there are different classes of ships, ranging from very, very small to super, super huge. You'll probably start out with a frigate, probably. And you'll probably work your way up to destroyer, cruiser, then battle cruiser, which is what I'm showing you here, then battleship, and then that's kind of how far you want to go for tier 1. As a casual player, you probably will stick with mainly those ships. There are also tier 2 ships, which are mainly more advanced PvP ships, usually. But they have a little bit extra bonuses, but it costs like 10 times more. So, you know, your mileage may vary with that. If you lose that ship, they are very costly. You can PvP in tier 1 ships. They aren't very effective, but in groups they can be. Remember, this game is mainly about groups, about how many people you have. So let's go for ships. So yeah, it's all laid out in the class of ship. Let's say I wanted to buy a new cruiser. Advanced cruisers, these are tier 2. Faction cruisers, those are given out as gifts from your agents. And then standard, this is tier 1. Now it's broken down by race. Let's say it's Caldari, I can fly Caldari. These are all the different kinds of Caldari cruisers. Each one of these have different models, obviously, and they have different attributes. Like the Blackbird is mainly a jamming ship. It can jam enemy lock-ons. This is mainly a PvP ship. The Caracal is mainly a missile ship. It gets really bonuses on missiles. You can use this a lot in PvE. PvP, it's pretty good, but mainly PvE. The MOA is kind of a guns and missiles ship. It's okay. I don't really like that much. The Osprey is mainly for mining. It has some mining bonuses. So you right-click that ship. It'll tell you it's got some bonuses. Every ship has bonuses to certain things. So every level of Caldari cruiser skill level you have, you get a 12.5 bonus to shield transporter boost. Yeah, that's fine. But really, you want... Oh, okay. They took off the mining thing? It used to have mining bonuses. Apparently it doesn't anymore. That sucks. So mainly you can transport shields and energy, capacitor energy over to other ships. Like say they're running really heavy tanks. Like they got massive amounts of shield boosting going on and they're just sucking down the capacitor. You can transfer some capacitor to them to keep that massive tank going. So yeah, that's how you buy new ships. And also, if you look at the ship, like if you want to buy the ship, it'll tell you the skills you need. Prerequisites, okay. Also, just use, you can use Evemon for that. There's also another app that I wanted to tell you about called EFT. I cannot show you it right now. But basically, it's a third-party app that lets you build ships virtually. You can just get in there and say you want a Caracal. You can pull up a Caracal and see, fit it with all the kind of cool weapons and stuff that you want. And it'll show you kind of like what kind of hit points it'll have, what its DPS will be. And then also, say you got the setup just how you like it. it'll tell you what skills you need to fly that ship with the exact fittings that you have on it. And then you can actually export that to Evemon, which is kind of cool. And then you'll have that in your skill plan list. So that's really, really helpful. So that's pretty much the ship classes and stuff. You can figure those out on your own. So let's talk about the ship UI, which we kind of didn't talk about, this little UI. We talked about fitting. We didn't talk about drones. Some ships have a drone bay, and drones are basically little tiny robots that you can have attack people or repair people's armor. There's a lot of other uses. They're mainly used to add DPS on different NPC ships or even in PvP. So anyway, this is the UI for the ship. This is my UI for what I've got my ship doing right now. You can see all the modules I was talking about right here, all the fittings. You can also group these together. Like if you have two of the same missile launchers, this is an advanced Limos, and this is an Albarest, and this is a 2XR. Okay, so these don't... Let's see. Oh, another Albarest missile launcher. I drag and drop this. Now there are two missile launchers here. If I click this when I have somebody targeted, it will actually fire both of those missile launchers at that target at the same time. So I think these are also the same, but I have them ungrouped on purpose. Here's the tractor beam. Whenever you want to activate one of these, you can click it. You can also do a hotkey. The hotkey for this is F8. So you can hit that hotkey, it'll activate this. Now, these are tanking, these are my shield tanking modules. And every ship has a set of resistances. So if you look at the info on the ship, attributes, it'll tell you what the resistances are on the ship. Because there's 4 different types of damage in this game. Electromagnetic damage, which is mainly energy. Explosive damage, like a HE shell. Kinetic damage, which is like an AP shell. And thermal damage, which is, I don't know, a heat ray or something. There's really no way to know. Lasers, I guess. I don't know. So the structure, which is this bottom piece right here, this is my hull, has no extra resistances, okay? Then I look at my armor, that's this second band on my hit points. This is all my hit points right here. I have 3 bands of hit points, basically. And so my armor has certain resistances. Obviously, it's going to have a lot of resistance to energy because it's armor. It's explosives, it's not going to have a lot of extra resistance to explosive because that damages the armor. Kinetic, same thing, and heat has pretty good resistances to that. Now your shield has almost the exact opposite resistances, okay? Usually low to energy and high to explosives because shields are energy. They're made of energy. When I activate this module, it increases my shields, my shield resistances. So see, I think they went up there. I might have to refresh this because it should be a lot higher now. It's uninsured. Yeah, that's fine. So let's open this again. It might not show on the active. Yeah, there we go. See, it's showing my... See how it increased my resistances? That helps a lot. Because my shield hit points are 16,000, and that basically cuts the damage incoming to my shields by a lot. Now, your shields will auto-regenerate, and actually the best regeneration, it's not flat. The best regeneration comes at 33% right here. This is the fastest your shields will regenerate. It's based on the total amount of shields you have. So this, when you can hit the sweet spot for shield tanking right here. Armor will not regenerate, but you can get modules in these low areas that will rebuild your armor for you. So you turn them on, it takes out capacitor, and it basically turns capacitor into armor regeneration. You'll see it go back up. You can also do structure regeneration, but it's not a very good idea because there's no resistances on structure. Generally, it's hard to get resistances on the structure. This will make me go faster. We already talked about that. These modules extend my shield. They actually just add raw hit points to my shield. This one adds... Where is it? It doesn't say. This one adds 2,600 hit points to my shield. I have 3 of those, so that's like, I don't know, 8,000. It's like doubling my shields pretty much. This is a shield tanking boat here, ship. So let's get a mission, actually. I shouldn't have been flying away from this station now that I need to go back to it. Oops. Let's pick up a mission. I want to show you about missions. Next thing we're going to talk about is making money. Now that we know how to fly our ships, we know how to travel around, we know how to do things, we're going to talk about making money. The two easiest newbie ways to make money is mining, which is dreadfully simple and actually kind of boring. And second is mission running, and I'm gonna show you mission running. Mining is really simple. You right-click, you find some asteroids, you right-click out in space like this. You go to the asteroid belt, okay, and there's I'll show you this stuff, but there's asteroids in there, and you just put on your mining laser on the asteroid, you lock on, and you start mining. The ore ends up in your cargo hold. You take that back to the station and refine it. I showed you how to do refining. Actually, I showed you one of the types of refining. I'll show you that in a second. And then the minerals that pop out, you either manufacture with it and sell that stuff, or you just sell the minerals right on the market. So I'll show you how to do that when we talk about markets. So that's really simple. If you do the tutorial, it'll tell you how to mine. You don't need me to help you with that. Alright, so let's get a mission though. This is the guy I've been working on. So with missions, you need agents. This is a Lidai Corporation agent. A Lidai Corporation, which you can see here, let's go with the info for them. Every corporation in the game you can have a standing with, okay? The higher your standing for NPC corporations, the better agents you can use. This is a level 3 agent. It goes up to level 5. I'm trying to work this agent up to level 4 so I can do better R&D. This is a security agent. This is mainly to get missions to blow people up. Once I get a high enough standing with the Lidai Corporation, then I can use better R&D agents to get basically R&D that I can sell on the market. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. You don't need to know all that. Basically, all you need to know is how do I get a mission from somebody. First, let's talk about the corporations you probably want to do missions with if you're going to do mission running. Just hit the corporation tab. Search. If you're Caldari, search for your race first. We'll find all the NPC corporations for this guy. Hit it. Go. Okay. Just go for this. It's not updating. This search is horrible. This is a lot worse than it used to be, by the way. Is it in here? Usually it pops up the first thing. Well, that's fine. Let's just do it. There's another way to do this. Let's see. Wow, they changed some of this stuff. I don't like the way they changed it. There's a way to search for corporations. It used to be right through here, but apparently... Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Can't search for NPC corps? Caldari Navy. Let's try that. Clear. I don't know where it's either enter or automatically should pull it up. Apparently not. Languages. High sec. Okay, there we go. It was filtered to 00. Okay, now it should pull up Caldari Navy. This is kind of a new user interface. I don't like this as much, but it's cool if you don't know who you're searching for. Is NPC stuff showing up here? Apparently not. There's no NPC thing in here, is there? I'm looking for NPC corps, bro. Okay, I'll just unselect all that stuff. Maybe it'll pull it up then. So it's searching in the database. There's tons of corporations in this game, as you might expect from an 8-year-old game here. Again, I'm not getting the Caldari Navy in here. Okay, that's the corporation I'm in. It's an NPC system. Alright. Well, let's go to one of my agents. This is going to be hard for you to do if you can't search in there. Caldari Navy. Why is it reapplying this filters? Is it in here? And a lot of people will name their player corporations that because they're trying to do, like, I don't know, some kind of a role-playing thing, which is cool. There's some role-playing in this game. I don't know. I tried it for a little bit, but it didn't work out too well. I don't see the NPCs in here. Anyway, so let's do it. Let's find a station with them or something. How would we do this? Oh, we can do that by the map, I think. Let's go to map. Let's go to search. Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's just go to any of these systems in here because they're everywhere. This is the Caldari area right here. Right-click a system. Now let's get out of the map. Actually, yeah, the map's where we're going to need to do this. Yeah, they screwed with that. And they'll do that sometimes. I don't think that's a better way to do it, but that's fine. Orbital bodies. See Caldari Navy testing facilities. Okay, that'll have Caldari Navy. See, there they are. Okay. So I got Caldari Navy. That was a really weird way to have to do it. I'm surprised you can't get NPC corporations right away. So this is a great little corporation to do NPC missions with because they tend to have the best missions. They have the best agents. But it's packed with a lot of players doing these missions. So you'll be coming out of a station with 100 other ships around you, and it gets really hard to navigate. So I like to use, what is it, home or something? Let's look at my assets here. Hedging and has it. Show info. Home Guard. This is a lot like Caldari Navy, except not as many people run these missions, and so it's not as congested. So you can see level 1, and they kind of sort by level. Available to me. I've ground up my faction with these guys pretty high, my standing. So almost all agents are available to me. But basically, you want to scope out a guy with like where, okay, oh, I like this one. A level 3 in this system, that's where I want to be. I'm going to grind out the standing for this guy. What do I need? Now this is the actual agent. He tells you this is your standing. And let's pick a guy that I don't have good standing with. Okay, let's do Light Eye because I'm still working it up, right? So I can't use this guy. Where's the level 4 stuff? I think I have the security guys open. So that's security. That's going to be mainly kill missions, but I want to know when I can use this R&D agent. Let's see, level 4 agent, right? Ah, level 4 R&D. And I might not want to use this guy, but let's say I did. I can't use this guy yet, right? I have a 4.4 with these guys. Oh, that's weird. I thought it should tell me what I need to be able to talk with this guy. It also tells you what relevant skills for R&D, but that's kind of a more advanced topic here. Your effective standing must be 3 or higher toward this agent's corporation in order to use this agent. So mine is my standings. Well, it says 4.4. Corporation's 4.62. I should be able to use this agent. I thought, anyway. That's interesting. Your effective personal standings must be 3 or higher, as well as effective personal standing of 5 or higher. Okay, my personal standings in general toward the corporation, but personal standing must be 5 or higher, and I do not have that yet. So here's my corporate standing. Here's my Caldari state standing. And where's my standing with this chick? 0. I think once this corporation one gets above 5, I'll be able to talk to this chick. But for now, it's not going to go up. So it's got to be 5 before I can use her. See, this guy too. I can't use this guy yet. That's pretty much how you know if you can use an agent or not. That's how you also find agents you want to use. I probably need a 5 with this guy too. Yep, 5. And I have 4.62. Every time you complete a mission, you'll get a little bit more standing increase. Let's do a mission, okay? So I've been working on this guy, security. I want to blow stuff up, right? That's his. Let's start a conversation with him. So I started a conversation. He's offering me a mission. He says, you need to go rescue these prisoners, bring items. Okay. Here's where you're going to go. Okay, this is where you're going to drop the prisoners off. This is where you're going to go to actually fight the guys that are holding these guys hostage. Find the slave pen and rescue the slaves. Okay, so this is the faction that I'm going to be fighting, the Pyro Faction. Each one of these factions, the Pyro Factions, they fire a certain kind of weapon, and so you can tell what kind of shield resistances you need based on who I'm fighting. Now this is the Blood Amara, no, something like that. What are these guys? What are they called? I can't remember. Blood Raiders. Okay. Now, Blood Raiders And you have to Google it. There's a way to know what they do. These guys mainly fire energy, EM. So I need to bump up my shields to do EM. Also, whatever kind of damage they shoot at you is the kind of damage they're weak to. So I need to load up my missiles with EM missiles. These are kinetic missiles. These are EM missiles. So obviously I've already been running this guy a while. The other kind of pirates I usually get are Greased pirates, and you fire kinetic at those guys. So I'm going to go into my fitting here, and I'm going to switch all these missiles out with... actually, I can do that out when I fly away. So I'm going to switch those out when I get out there. Okay, so I'm going to accept this mission. So here's the reward. If I complete it, I get 144,000 credits. I also get loyalty points I can spend in the store. And if I complete it within an hour and 14 minutes, I get another 142. Basically doubles it. That's great. These you can usually always complete these with this amount of time. You can also accept a mission and go and be in a fleet with a buddy, and you can split the mission with him or keep all the credits. Depends. You have the option. You can also basically you guys both get the bump in standings. So if he's really low in standings and you want to help him out, you have high standings guy like I do, level 3. He can go with me and get really nice standings increases very fast by running level 3 missions with me. And it doesn't split the standing increase. It basically gives you both the same amount. So you're not splitting any of the standings. So let's accept this. Okay, now, if I fail this mission, I can decline a mission once every 4 hours, I think. If I decline a second mission within the 4 hours, I lose standings. Now that I've accepted this mission, if I fail the mission, I lose standings. And it's a pretty big drop. So try not to fail it, obviously. Now this is a different system, so I can set destination from here. If you right-click this and cannot set destination, it means it's in the same system, dumbass. So just, undock and fly out there. Obviously, there's going to be a follow-up mission. I don't have to accept that mission. If you don't do the follow-up, you won't lose standing. You can just decline it and say no thanks. Okay, I only have to do one jump. Nice. Double-click this to keep it open. I like to keep this open because it'll tell you when you complete the... See, I already have this completed, but I have not picked up the dudes. Once I pick up the guys, it'll checkmark the screen, it'll blink and pop up and say, hey, you just completed one of the objectives. Sweet. So I always leave it open. I just kind of keep it minimized there. So I'm all ready to go. I'm going to undock. We're going to use all the tools we've already learned to go do this mission. You can only accept one mission from one agent at a time. If you can run multiple agents out of the same station, just pick up a mission from both of them, and you can do that. Or if your friend picks up a mission and you pick up a mission, you can both run both missions. And then you can both go back. So, travel here. I need to go here. I'm going to jump. Now, right now, I'm going to switch out my missiles. I have all kinetics loaded. Right now, I'm running invulnerability fields. These actually increase across the board. They increase all my resistances. So, since I have really high skills, I don't need to have special tanking stuff, but if I was kind of lower skilled, I might have to have an EM shield instead of this all around. So anyway, I want to switch this out with these Mjolnir. These are the EM missiles, so I just right click, switch them out, and it takes about 20 seconds. Hopefully I get it loaded before I jump. I don't know what happens. I might have to redo this if it gets over there. Yeah, see, there we go. You can see how many shots you have left too. Pretty nice. And one of them didn't get it. It's okay. Now, the reason I have this tractor beam is because these prisoners, once I actually blow up the slave pen, are going to pop out in a can. Oh, if you don't have anything... close window. If you don't have anything locked on, you can click this and click the item you want, and it'll lock and fire. Oh, I'm cloaked. I can't do it while cloaked. You can't do a lot of things while cloaked, like activate shields and all that stuff. Alright, cool. Now, I'm in the system, right? I right-click anywhere. Oh, here's my mission. Go to the encounter. Warp to within 0. At this point, I generally turn on my tanking stuff. These are active tanks. They have to be running. They're going to pull some of this capacitor out, but my capacitor regenerates as well, just like shields do. And same thing for the shields as capacitor. Your best regeneration happens at 33% of the total. So as long as it stays at 33% or above, your capacitor your tank is running just fine. You won't run out. If it starts to dip below that, you need to start turning some stuff off, because your tank is not gonna maintain that. Some tanks, this is a passive tank. I never have to do anything to this tank. It just runs and runs and runs. I just have to watch my shield regeneration. It's based off shield regeneration. There's active tanking where you push a button to get a boost, and you have to manage that. Manage your capacitor with your booster. Can't run it all the time. Oh, there's some pirates here. Switch to PvE. Now, if you right-click these guys, you can add them to the overview. I've already added them, so it's fine. It's just removed now. So, to target these guys, I control-click these guys. And there's a targeting range, and I'll tell you about that in a second. I can take tons of damage from these guys, I'll never die. So, zoom in and out is the middle mouse. So, these guys are shooting at me. I'm not going to take much damage. You'll see. Now, here's their hit points. It's the same shields, armor, and hull. Tells you how far away they are as well. Now, smaller ships, you want to use smaller weapons on them, like these smaller missiles. The larger ships, like cruisers and above, maybe these larger missiles. And there's even larger ones on battleships, but I don't have any of those loaded right now. It's telling me how much damage I'm taking. Remember, I have a 16,000 shield tank, so this is not much. Alright, now I wanted to show you the tactical overlay here, because this is all 3D. These are in kilometers. The outside ring is my targeting range, okay? I can target out to 75 kilometers. Now, if I mouse over my weapon, that's my effective range on my weapon. I cannot hit anybody outside of about 55 kilometers with these larger missiles. Okay? Shorter missiles, it's 38 about. So even if you have somebody targeted, with these, say I have a small guy targeted and he's right in here and he's flying in, I can't hit him until he's inside that sphere. So I might as well not be shooting at him, because it'll never hit him. It'll just kind of fade out. So that's a nice way to see how far away something is. You can see my shields are taking a little bit of damage there. I'm also webbed, which means I can't move very fast. It makes me move very slowly. It's an offensive module. You can see it around me right there. A webifier. That means my impulse speed is a lot slower. Like, let me double click somewhere. See, my top speed's going to be a lot. It's reduced to 103 instead of like 170 or something. Alright, so let's light these guys up. Now, if I push this, it'll shoot both of those missiles at them. I'm going to start with light missiles on these two guys. I'm just clicking these guys. I'm going to set these guys up with 2 of the heavier missiles, because they're going to do less damage than normally would. So you can see, it's jacking them up pretty good. These guys are pretty light. I should put... Oh, actually, this doesn't have... A lot of times you'll have to warp into this. There's another gate to use to warp in, but this warps in immediately. I need to find the slave pen and add it to my overview. So, where is that thing anyway? Let's click on this guy. Slave pen, there it is. Let's add this to my overview. Add large glidable structure. Now I'm going to save this. Save current as PvE. If you save it as the same thing, it'll just update. It'll overwrite. See, it says, you sure you want to overwrite? Yeah, I'm sure. There. Now I'll always be able to see that. I should target it. Now, you can only target up to, I think, at 4 targets at first, but you can increase skills to target more guys. You can target up to like 8 eventually, or 10 if you want to. So it's taken a while to kill these guys. Let's focus fire them a little bit. Let's put more missiles on this. So I clicked it to stop as well. Every time this goes around, it fires another salvo at him. So let's light this guy up big time. Let's just shoot everything, all the extras. You can see what's shooting at him there. He should melt right down now. And you can see they're tanking too. Their shields go up. They'll use armor tanking. And you can see how much damage I'm doing. So, yeah. They've actually upgraded the look of like missiles and stuff recently. They look really sweet now. They used to not look this sweet. So, took him out. Let's light this guy up now. And I'm just going to do F1 through F5 to light this guy up. He's already got something. F1, 2, 3, and 5. I just used my hotkeys there. Let's take this guy out. It's taking a little while, but the EM is not as good on missiles as the kinetic missiles are. The kinetic missiles are much better. So it's kind of harder to fight someone with EM. The Amar have much better EM weapons. That's their bread and butter is EM. For Caldari, it's generally kinetic. Alright, so he goes down. Let's hit this guy now. Let's just do a full bank at him. Let's see it one. Now you can click it again and I'll fire it once. There's one salvo. Can I take him out? Not really. Let's just keep him running then. There we go. See, they're not doing that much because he's moving in kind of fast. So my larger missiles are not hitting him for full damage. Because they kind of explode behind him a little bit, and he gets out of the range of that explosion before they can really hit him really hard. It's kind of balancing a little bit. You don't want a battleship taking out a little guy with like one shot. It makes PvP really boring. So this is considered a speed tank, if you hear that term. This guy's using his speed flying around me to avoid a lot of my damage. Used to work a lot better. I'm glad they kind of took it away. Sometimes when you destroy the last guy, another wave will spawn. Actually, we don't want to fly away from that. Let's stop the ship. We want to approach it, because we're going to have to pick something up. So let's do a full bank at this guy. Let's give him everything we got. Sometimes when you hit something the first time, it'll spawn another wave of dudes. There's actually a database online that will help you with missions and talking about what missions, what they spawn, how to run the mission. I can't remember what it's called. There's also an in-game browser where you can pull up the information. It's not listed. It's odd. Did they take it out? They can't have taken it out. Oh, it's probably in here. Nope. Where's the notepad? There's also a notepad in here. What the hell? Oh, here it is. No, it's a training queue. I don't want that. Oh, I didn't tell you about the training queue. I probably should tell you about that. So, skills, training queue. When you add a skill to your... When you add a training, you train a skill, you right-click it and start training it, it'll end up in your training queue. Now, some skills, especially when you're new, will start out where you stop, like, in a couple hours. You can add more skills to it, okay? So that you'll never... Like, when you're offline, you don't have to worry about your skill running out. It'll just automatically start another skill for you. Okay, look. Nice. I blew up the slave pen. Now I need to go... See? I rescued the slaves. Now I need to actually pull those guys in. So I'm going to target that little cargo container, but I don't have it in my overview, so let's add it. Again, we need to save. PvE. Yes, that's fine. Okay, now it's permanently a part of it. Now I'm going to lock onto this. Don't shoot this. If you shoot this, you'll fail the mission, okay? If you fire one missile at this, it will blow up. Hit the tractor beam. That's why I have my tractor beam way far away from all my weapons. I'm not close enough. Approach, put on my afterburners. So that should push me up really fast. Yeah, 214 kilometers per second. Oh, meters per second, not kilometers. Oh, I'm within 20. The tractor beam, it's much faster than I can go. It's like 1,000 meters per second, so it'll pull it in. When it gets within 1,000 meters, you can open up the cargo hold. You can see right here. Actually, I can open it right now. Nope. Oh, that's approach. Huh? Usually that's grayed out when you can't open it. Maybe it's within 2,500. It should. Okay, there we go. Let me right-click my ship. Open my cargo hold. I don't like that. Used to not do that. That is really annoying. Oh, okay, I can just drag and drop. Let's do that. There. I didn't show you about drones. It's a little more advanced. You'll have to learn about that some other time. So, I need to reload these. Let's say it's much faster to reload these without actually running out. So, I'm going to say reload all. Now it's going to reload all of these. It takes about 10 seconds, yeah. Oh! Another guy came in when I looted that guy. He's much bigger. This guy's like a cruiser class. That's okay. Let's take this guy out. Battle cruisers can generally run up to level 3, and if you have enough skills, level 4 missions. I wouldn't really do level 4 missions. Probably need a battleship. They're a little bit easier, I think, with a battleship. But you can do it with these battle cruisers. The level 3 missions with high skills on a battleship, if you have high skills, are really easy. Like, I'm not even... Look at these guys, haven't even gotten to my tank at all. I can pretty much do level 4 missions with this because I have high skills. It does make that much difference. It doesn't look like it makes a lot of difference because it's like, oh, bonus to 2%. That doesn't seem like a lot, but once you add all those skills up that you're talking about, it is a lot. Now, you can loot these guys. See how it drops a corpse right there? There's nothing in this one. That's why that triangle is empty. If the triangle was full, it means he dropped some modules. You can go pick them up. A lot of times they're not worth picking up, so I don't. Unless it's like a level 4 mission where they can drop some pretty nice stuff. But these level 3s generally don't drop that great of stuff. You have to approach it, you open it just like a cargo container. You can also salvage it, which is another high slot item. It's called a salvager. It will take out the parts of that thing, and those parts can create rigs. You can usually sell the parts in the market, or create rigs if you want to do it out of blueprints. So that's pretty much combat. That's a mission. Let's go back to see, and I picked up this guy. Should say I have him. I did pick him up, right? Let's see. Cargo hold. Yeah, they're right there. Well, maybe it's bugged. Alright, let's go back to this place. Set destination. Jump. Alright, cool. We're done with this mission. We didn't get the money yet because also when you warp, it takes some of your capacitor. That's how much it took to warp there. The distance depends on how much it takes depends on how far away your warp point is. When you're brand new to the game, you'll probably end up taking up. It'll take 2 times for you to warp probably on long warps because your capacitor is not. You don't have the skills that give you a bonus on your capacitor, and also there's skills to make warp consume less capacitor and other things like that. There's skills for everything you do in this game, basically. This is pretty much going to do it for this whole thing. One thing I wanted to show you was the marketplace, and I thought I did that a little bit, but I'll show it to you a little better. This is how you buy stuff out of the market. There's a lot, way more advanced stuff. I cannot even closely covered it all. So this is going to get you started. This is a pretty good starter guide, though. It pretty much gave you everything you need to know to start making money. There's other things like you can also do exploration, which is where like you scan down hidden sites in the star system. Go to those sites and like loot the contents of that site. You might find really good asteroids there, or you might find really good NPCs that you can that pay off a lot. Now I killed those guys, and I didn't get a chance to show you, but each one of those guys has a bounty on them. So if you look at my wallet, it doesn't pay out until every 15 minutes, but you'll see bounties start to show up here for killing those NPCs. So not only did I make money from killing them, I'm gonna make money from doing this mission. So I'm gonna dock. You can't turn in a mission until you dock in the station where your agent is. In some very rare cases that you can finish the mission mid mission when you blow up somebody, and they'll automatically offer you the next mission, but generally not. Also, here's something to know. If you go into combat and then you log out, your ship will remain, right now, my ship remains in the game for 1 minute 50 seconds more. That's to get people to stop logging out when they get under fire in PvP, because that's a way that people were basically getting out of PvP combat. They just log out, and so this way, they can still log out, but then you can still blow up their ship. So there's no easy way out of there anymore.
Docking permission requested.
So pretty cool. This tutorial's pretty much over. There's just a lot to cover, and that's why it's so long. Sorry it's so long. It's funny that this is the basic newbie guide. That's kind of interesting. I covered a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's some stuff that I wish I would have covered that I'll figure it out later. So let's go back to this guy. Yep, I have everything now. Probably had to have the prisoners in the station. All check marks, complete mission. Nice. And I'm within the... Now he's going to offer me another mission immediately. I don't have to accept it right away. The timer doesn't start till you accept the mission or even request it. So I can just leave him to talk to himself. Now let's look at my wallet. Oh, there we go. Agent time bonus reward. There's a little bit of corporation tax for being in a newbie corp. If you're a player corp and you set your corporate tax to 0, you won't lose this money. It takes it right out of your bonus. There's the original. Here's bounties from killing guys on that mission. That might have been a previous mission. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is the previous mission. That's probably bonus. That's probably the bounty from this previous mission here. So I made about almost $1 million off that, actually. Pretty nice. This ship is worth about 50 million right now, so it does take a while to get the money. It's got a little bit of mudflation going on right here. Let's see. What else can I tell you? That's pretty much everything. I wanted to show you something else, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh well, too bad. The market. Let's do the market real quick. So, let's say I wanted to buy some more missiles. I need heavy missiles. I'm almost running out. I just want standard ones. And I want to buy more Multiplier ones. Let's say I almost ran out. So you can sort this thing by price. You can sort it by all sorts of stuff. It tells you how many jumps away it is. So that's going to be the main factor here. You can save a lot of money depending on how many you're buying. If you're buying 100,000, then, you know, 10 credits makes a big difference. That's like, I don't know, 1,000 credits or 10,000 credits, whatever. It could mean a lot. So it just kind of depends. You can also sort by jumps. You can go to the closest one. Here's one. Obviously, look out for stuff like this. You don't want to buy these. And that's totally legal, by the way. If you buy it, it's on you. So yeah, that's kind of how you... There's really not much to the market. It's really easy. There's also a pricing history, which is nice if you're trying to buy and sell. You can look at pricing history. There's tons of stuff to do with that. Now, buy orders are kind of more complicated. If you want to sell something on the market, the general way to sell it's like this. You say, oh, that's in my ship. You can't sell stuff in your ship. You have to do it from your hangar. So let's say I want to sell this item. There's quick sell, which means it's going to sell to the lowest price that's in green here. It'll sell to this guy. You can see that's why 60. Oh, that's how much that guy's buying them for. 30. I thought that's what it was. Price 60. Interesting. I thought it would sell it for 30. That's not a bad deal. Oh, it sells it for the highest. Sorry. Sells it for the highest, and these green ones are the ones where this guy's buy order covers the system that you're in. So the highest price that someone's offering for these missiles is 60. But if you look, they're probably selling them for 105. Okay? So I'm going to make 236,000 if I sell this whole stack. It's also below the regional average. There's a little bit of taxes too. So, or I can sell them on a buy order. I don't think I can do this right now. If you want to do a buy order like this guy, or you want to actually sell it on the market, you hit advanced, and you list your price. And usually, it doesn't matter what you do, 1 day or 3 months, so I always pick 3 months. There's no adjustment in sales tax, really. But you can list your price here and look at the market prices and stuff, and then say, remember settings, we'll set these this 3 months. And then say sell, and it'll actually show up on the market. And there's skills that allow you to sell more items. You can usually only sell like 1 or 2 things when you're a newbie, but there's a skill book that'll allow you in the trade part of your skills that allow you to sell more stuff. So anyway, I usually just like the little simple stuff like this. I just sell it right to the guy. I don't really care. It's not much difference. For a newbie, it might be a lot of difference, but in general, it's not that big a deal. So that's the market. That's pretty much a quick overview. So that's pretty much the quote-unquote short newbie beginner guide. Tell me what you think. Hope you liked it. Later, guys.